and we'll send a recording out along with the slides and also a document with everything you need to run these campaigns. So what kind of my big aim for this is to make it really easy for you to run Xero marketing campaigns. So we're going to give you things like email templates and everything you need to get the campaigns done. So make some notes by all means, but just keep that in mind that we'll be giving you those templates as well. Cool. Well, let's get started. So, sorry, just go back to that slide. Do you get more clients just because you're a Xero firm? Now, maybe you get some from the directory, but honestly, most business owners aren't going to choose you just based on your choice of accounting software. You've got to give them more than that. Now, it's marketing 101 to sell on benefits, not features. You've probably heard that before. So sell the benefits of a product or service, not the features. And so the question you need to answer when you're thinking about Xero and marketing yourself as a Xero firm is Xero plus what? Xero on its own isn't really going to get you more clients. So it's Xero plus what? And the what is what's in it for me? Because that's how business owners think, what's in it for me? In other words, you shouldn't be just telling them what Xero can do. You've got to explain to them the benefits that Xero gives them for them and their business. So that's what I'm going to share with you today, 5 benefit-led Xero marketing campaigns that you can use in your firm. And so it's going to be a really practical session. After the webinar, we're going to share those resources with you that I just mentioned. So things like the email, slide decks, things like that, to make it super easy for you to do these campaigns. So why should you listen to me talking about Xero marketing? Well, I'm the CEO of Bizink, and we work with over 200 Xero firms from across the globe in Australia, New Zealand, US, Canada, UK, South Africa, and a few other countries as well. And we've put lots of Xero features and content into our products. So I'll show you some of those as we go along. But what it means is we're actually able to test out what works and what doesn't. I've also spoken at XeroCon, so you can see my little speaker's badge there on screen. We've also got a course on Xero Central that we put together. So if you want to take that, that's been internationalized. Go to Xero Central and search for how to market your Xero firm. You can check out that course. And the last thing I'd say is, look, we've probably done more marketing for Xero partners than any other company across the world. I'm not trying to be boastful there, but I think that's probably true. In terms of all those countries that we work in, we've literally done hundreds of different campaigns, probably thousands for Xero partners across the globe. But yeah, so I think we're pretty qualified to talk about this stuff, but enough about us. Let's get into the content of today's session. Good artists copy, great artists steal. So I really love this quote from Pablo Picasso because there's no original ideas in the world. I really believe that there's every idea has been had before, and that's especially true when it comes to marketing. Now, if you think you've come up with an original marketing idea, I'd suggest you think long and hard about it, probably run a mile, because honestly, it's much better to do what's proven to work instead of trying to come up with, things yourself, basically reinvent the wheel. So where do you get ideas about Xero marketing? Well, Xero, of course, that's the first place to start, because they give away a bunch of content that you can use for your marketing. And me sharing some of that with you. And I also want you to steal your ideas from Bizink. That's why you've come to the webinar, to get ideas. That's what I'm going to be giving you today. You can just copy these ideas and apply them in your own firm. Now, a really good place to start, now Anthony's going to be sharing some links in the chat as we go along. So a really good place to start, she'll share a link to this PDF, is the Build a Better Business with Xero download. And this is basically a one-pager which talks about all the benefits of using Xero. And We talked about that at the start. You sell on benefits, not features. That's fundamental marketing principle. And what this document does is just give you a bunch of different ideas of the benefits of using Xero. So she just shared that in the chat. Take that, download that. I'm going to just pick a couple of things off that today, but there's a bunch of ideas in there that you can use for your marketing. So our first campaign, we're going to be doing 5 campaigns today. Campaign 1, get paid faster. So one of the benefits on that document that Anthony's just shared with you is, businesses that use Xero for invoicing tend to get paid faster. Now that is an ideal topic because every business owner wants to be paid faster and they understand it. Now we often talk about cash flow, right? Cash flow is this, every business has cash flow issues and we often market on cash flow. But honestly, I think the word cash flow, it's actually jargon. It's accounting business jargon because it's often misunderstood. Now you might think, well, it's a pretty simple thing, but challenge you, if you went and asked 100 clients what cash flow was, I reckon you'd get 100 different answers, ranging from completely wrong to some of them, kind of right, but they would all be different. But everyone knows what getting paid faster means. Everyone knows, and everyone wants that. So I think it's a great topic to use for our first campaign. And just like Picasso, we're going to steal that idea from that Xero doc. So in the promotion for this webinar, I said that you'll be able to do this stuff immediately. Now, I wasn't lying there. I really believe you could get this campaign up and running in 30 minutes. You could get it done today as soon as the webinar finishes. So step 1, what I want you to do is Anthony's going to share a link to a blog post in the chat, and I want you to go and get that post and get hold of that link. And that's a blog post about invoicing tips to get paid faster. So you can see it on screen here as well. 7 tips to get paid faster. Now that's the New Zealand version because I'm based in New Zealand, so that's what Xero site comes up for me. You'll either be able to use that version, I mean, it applies to any country really, the same things, or it'll change to your country. So that will happen with a few of the links we share because Xero regionalizes their websites to different countries. Some of these links you might have to do a couple of clicks to get through, but it should all make sense. So that post, it's got some awesome practical tips on getting paid faster, and any business owner that sends invoices would find these helpful, even if they weren't using Xero. Some really awesome tips in there. So that's step 1, get hold of that post. Step 2, email it out to your clients and your prospects. That's it. Send an email out saying, here's a useful post, and give them a call to action so they can get in touch with you and talk about getting paid faster. Really, really simple campaign. Now, I've made it sound a bit more simple than it actually is, but we're going to really make this super easy for you because we've created an email template that you can use. So you can see that on screen now, and we're going to share this with you after the webinar as well. So this is just a really simple email that you could get and push out to either your clients or your prospects about that blog post. So it links off to that blog post and then gives them a call to action so they can get in touch with you. So why is this a good email template? I'm not going to read the whole thing out, but some of the points that make this a good email template. So number 1, it's a really good subject line, right? Everyone wants to get paid faster, so it's something that people want. Questions and email subjects always work well. There's that bit of mystery people want to find out. So it's a good subject line. The next thing is that blog post, you read that after the webinar, you will see it's awesome information, real benefit for business owners. So you're actually sending something really, really useful. And getting paid faster is really useful, right? Money in your bank is tangible. Helping someone with, say, management reports or dashboards, That's not to say that's not useful, but it's not as tangible as cash in your bank. The email is also really short and just gets to the point. That works well in email marketing. And finally, it's got an informal tone. So what I find at looking at a lot of accounting emails, the tone is often a bit too formal, a bit too stuffy. And the best emails are going to be writing in the way that your clients would write, the same tone as they would write. And so that kind of informal tone works really well. You can also see there's a call to action. So final line of the email, next step is a quick chat. Is there a good time in the next week or two? Now you could, that's actually a link. So what I would recommend there, my personal recommendation would link off to appointment booking software. So appointment booking software like Calendly, we use one called Acuity Scheduling. There's several others out there that you can use so that people can just book time into your calendar. Now, you could just ask people if there's a good time, but that's a bit more clunky, right? You're going to have a bit of email tennis there. I'd have that as a link. It's a much better call to action. So Anthea shared a couple of links to some of these appointment booking apps that I'm talking about. I'm sure lots of you are using them. If not, I would highly recommend that you do. Not just in emails like this, but on your website and all that kind of thing. So that's a campaign ready. You could get that out, use that template. You could send that out straight away, send that useful blog post, call to action, and you're getting in touch with people straight away. Now, one of the objections we often get around email campaigns like this is, we don't want to spam people. So I'd counter that by saying, well, first of all, as a business owner myself, I'd be happy to get this email, and I think most business owners would, because it's genuinely useful. And even if I wasn't that interested, it isn't going to offend me. I might ignore it, delete it, so what? And you might offend some people. I mean, look, a lot of people get offended by lots of things these days. So what? The worst that happens, they can hit unsubscribe. It's not spam, it's actually useful. So to wrap up this campaign, I've created a little checklist for you. So there's some essential things and some optional things. So the first thing that's essential is you have to sell something, right? You can send this out, but the call to action has got to have something behind it, which is, you want to be able to help them get paid faster. So what would you create there? I would personally think about maybe creating a product around, helping someone get set up on Xero invoicing. So, maybe like a one-off fixed fee where you'd help them do things like do a nice email template, maybe add payment links like a pay now button, a bunch of that stuff to help them get paid faster. So you need something to sell. That's kind of obvious in marketing, right? But that's number one. Second thing is that you need the content from Xero. So I've used that blog, but there are hundreds and hundreds of blogs on the Xero site similar to that, which are useful to business owners. Which other ones could you find, on different pain points or topics or benefits that you could find there? So I'm showing you one campaign on one topic. You could use these exact same tactics for lots of different topics. You're going to need an email list. So, subscribers in an email list, and that could be clients, it could be prospects. And you're going to need email software to send it out. So this should be done through bulk emailing software, not Outlook or Gmail, which you use for that kind of one-to-one, communication from day to day. So what I'm talking about here is things like a MailChimp, a campaign monitor, an active campaign, or an accounting specific tool like Bizink email marketing. Optionally, I talked about meeting booking software. For me personally, that would be an essential, but it isn't essential. Obviously you don't have to have it there, but I would say you're going to make your campaign less effective if you're asking people to contact you, just reply to emails and stuff like that. Meeting booking software just makes it super easy, super slick for people to set up an appointment with you. Maybe you could take it to the next level and do e-commerce or online payments. So what I'm talking about here would be, say you created this zero invoicing setup product that I mentioned, and you say you were charging $500 to do that as like a one-off fee. Why not create an online payment form or have an e-commerce product for doing that? Makes it really easy for you. You know, you get paid up front and you're actually then demonstrating what you're talking about. You know, you're saying to people, I'll help you get paid faster. And guess what? Like, we do it ourselves. So I think that'd be a really nice optional extra that you could put in. So who thinks they could do a campaign like that? Type yes or no into the chat. Who thinks they could get a campaign set up like that, especially because we're giving you the templates? That's good. We got a big yes from Julie. So yeah, I think this is a super easy campaign. You know, you've all got a list of clients. Hopefully you got a few list of prospects as well. And use our template. Feel free to tweak it, do whatever you want. You could get this happening really quickly. So campaign 2, own and amplify. So what we're going to do is take what we just did in campaign 1 and kind of boost it a little bit. So own, what I mean by here is creating your own content about how to get paid faster, not just using zeros. And amplify, that's about spreading the message wider than just emailing it to your lists. So here's what I recommend. First of all, write a blog. So is anyone doing blogging already? Just type yes or no into the chat. Is anyone doing blogging already? What I'll be talking about here is you creating a blog on, like you can see the one here, improving cash flow. So this is what we write for our clients. We provide our clients with blogs, but some of them do it themselves. So we've got a few people blogging here. Reason why I'm suggesting a blog is you can, once you've created the blog, it then exists on your site. And there's a few reasons why that's good. It's more kudos for you. So yeah, it's nothing wrong with sharing useful content from Xero. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, like the first campaign. But kind of better if it comes from you. Next thing, it stays there. So you've done the blog, you send your campaign out, send it out again in maybe 6 months' time, and then you can send it again in another 6 months' time. Because repetition is really important in marketing, but underrated. So what I'm talking about here is that, we often send out a campaign, maybe get a bit of a response, we don't do it again. But, you could send that same campaign and get a better response the next time. And, in fact, Bizink, we've got certain campaigns that we send out. We've been sending out for 5 years, pretty much the same campaign, because it always delivers results. So if you've got a blog, you can keep sharing that via email. You can share that via social. We'll talk about that in a second. It's there, as long as you want it to be. And also with the blog, that can have some search engine benefits as well, or SEO benefit. I'm kind of hesitant to talk about blogs and SEO because I think there's a bit of a kind of exaggeration talked about how good blogs are for SEO, because it'll only be good for SEO if people are searching for the topic you're writing about. But if they are, it can work really well. We've got one client, a Xero firm in Auckland, wrote a post about GST, so the sales tax in New Zealand, GST on secondhand goods. And that used to beat the IRD post on the same topic. So, the government tax department. So, blogs can really work well, but, it doesn't, that wouldn't be why I'd be writing them in the first instance. So you've created a blog. What else to do with it? Well, send it out via email exactly like we just talked about. Same tactics as campaign 1, but with your own blog. But we want to amplify this, right? We want to get it out to more places. So what I would do then is post it to social media. So what we're doing here is repurposing content. We call repurposing. So basically, do the content in one place, the blog, then share it on email, and then share it on social. So we're getting much more bang for our buck. So, we see firms having most success on social media on Facebook and LinkedIn. So that's where I would focus your efforts. Potentially Twitter and Instagram, specific industries, say fashion, hospitality, be on Instagram, but most of the time I think LinkedIn and Facebook are your safe bet. And again, the repetition thing with social, it's really important to repost content, because at any one time, only a small proportion of your audience, like your followers, are going to see that post. So use a tool where you can schedule the 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 post to happen several times. So we use one called Edgar, which is really good at that repetition side of things. But you've got other tools there like Hootsuite or Buffer. Auntie will post some links in there that you could also do that social repetition and posting with. So let's just go through a quick checklist for this second campaign. Essentials. If you're going to do a blog, obviously you need a blog. Makes sense. Hopefully most of you got those on your website already. You're going to need social media accounts, just discussed which we think are the best ones, and which ones you might consider as well. And you're going to need an email list and email software, which we've already talked about. So if you scroll up, you can see those links to email marketing software. Now, optionally, I want to throw something out there as something that I think is a total optional extra, but could be a really cool thing to do and get people's attention. And that would be doing a video. So, we've all heard that, videos are cool in marketing and all of that, but, quite expensive, can be quite expensive. Well, actually now you can do videos really for no cost, because what I'm going to talk to you about is an app called Loom, Loom. So Auntie will share a link to this in the chat. And Loom is a Chrome plugin. So Chrome, the web browser, plugs into Chrome, and you can make videos, which can be like a screen share, can be a video of yourself, or both mixed together. So it's a really, really cool app. We use it here at Bizink. And so what I'm suggesting is, let's say you were talking about getting paid faster. That's what we've been talking about. You could actually do a quick demo of you showing how to add, for example, a pay now button to a Xero invoice. So, great thing to do, get a payment gateway and have a pay now button so people can pay you straight off the invoice. Really increases how quickly your invoices get paid. So, you could do a real quick video on that, and then use that. You could put that into a blog. You can share that on social, send it out via email, all those things we've already talked about, but with a video. And you can get that done really fast. You might even find that faster than writing a blog, because it doesn't have to be polished. Authentic is really, really good. And the quality of the information, far more important than the production values. So just wanted to flick that out there and say that's something that could be an interesting alternative. Check out Loom. But whichever way you do, I think this is still a really quick campaign that you could get out. And if you're happy with this kind of structure of doing things, we've talked about getting paid faster. But go back to that PDF that we shared at the start, the Better Business with Xero, with all the benefits on, and just run the same tactics with another topic. So, for example, could be security, could be eliminating paperwork. Lots of ideas there. Quick question from Shiv. He's asking, does Loom add subtitles? I don't know. I don't think it does. There might be some annotation software or a plugin that you could get. Maybe we'll have a look into that and see if we can get back to you. But we've never used it to do that, but potentially it could. So campaign 3, nail a niche. So what we're going to do here is build on the same tactics from the first 2 campaigns, but make it more specific. Now, I am sure that Every business owner thinks they are special, right? Every business owner thinks their business is special. Now, that's kind of funny because, we know a lot of them are pretty much the same, but we can use that sentiment and appeal to it in our marketing. And that can simply be by changing the campaigns that we've just done, like campaigns 1 and 2, but making them industry specific. So is anyone targeting niches or industries in the marketing? Just type yes or no, or even better, type the niche or industry that you target into the chat. Mark, thank you for answering Shiv's question about adding subtitles to Loom videos. Mark saying you can use Camtasia and Rev.com to do subtitles. So Camtasia is a really good app as well, a bit more complex than Loom. It's a desktop app, but we also use that for doing kind of more complex videos. So that's cool. Yeah, we've got people targeting niches, Julie's targeting creatives. So if you're already doing that, you might be doing some of this stuff. I'm going to show you how to really easily do this with Xero and with some of the tactics that I've shown you already. So how easy is it? Well, it's as easy as this, right? Take that template that I did at the start, change the subject and change one line. We're talking about tradies here. So like tradies, Australia and New Zealand slang for trades businesses like builders and plumbers. I don't think anyone else around the world says it, but like it's a very popular thing for accountants and bookkeepers to market to. So I use that example. But that's how easy it is to make an industry-specific piece of marketing. Same benefits, you just basically inserted the industry. Now, how would I improve this a little bit? Personally, I would maybe localize it a bit. So you could be like helping tradies in insert your area, get paid faster, something like that, because we're trying to focus here, we're trying to specialize, and that local aspect that can help attract people to you as well. So sending this email, we do all the stuff that we talked about before, but obviously what we'll want to do is segment the list. So you've got your email list. You obviously don't want to send this to, cafe owners or hospitality businesses or whatever. You want to send it to the people who are relevant on your list. And hopefully you've got that information that you can do that with. And so back to the campaign and back to stealing ideas. Xero have got a bunch of industry playbooks on their site. You can see some of them on screen. I found these under, if you go to resources and accountant and bookkeeper resources, they've got all these playbooks in there. So it covers things like trades, professional services, retail, hospitality, basically all the kinds of clients that most of you are working with. And they're packed with content that you could use for these niche marketing campaigns. So again, same tactics as we used from the previous two campaigns: blogs, video, social, email. There's one other tactic that I would like to throw in here, even though I know most of you are not going to do it, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway because it works really well, and that is outbound marketing. So by outbound, I mean reaching out directly to prospects in that chosen niche, because really that's the big advantage of niching your marketing, is that you know who to reach out to and what to talk to them about. It's probably the biggest advantage, yet so few firms do outbound. Now, how I'm suggesting you do this, I wouldn't be doing things like cold calling. I'm suggesting you do this via email or LinkedIn. So if you're doing it via email, I would suggest using an outbound tool like Yesware or Prospect.io. And what they do is they integrate in with G Suite or Outlook, whatever you use to power your email. And they do things like tell you who opened your emails, allow you to create templates and do automation within your normal inbox. So Anthony has shared a couple of those tools there. So check those out if you're considering outbound. The other one to use would be LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So this is a paid add-on to LinkedIn, obviously. And what it does is it makes it really easy to build lead lists, contact people, basically do that kind of outreach through LinkedIn. So I think it's around $100 a month. There's different plans, but they do a free. You get 14 days or 30 days for free, something like that. So you can go and check it out. We find it really valuable as a tool for doing our outreach. To check that out as well. The link's in the chat, by the way. So all these links I'm talking about, just have a look in the chat. And what we're going to do at the end of the session, we'll send out an email and include all of these templates that I'm showing you and these links that we're sharing as well. So checklist for the Nail a Niche campaign, everything from the previous campaigns in terms of tactics. What I would also add in there is a website landing page. So what do I mean by this? Well, if you're sending people to your website, say a trades business, don't send them just to your homepage. Create a specific Xero-focused landing page for them. Talk about trades on there, or whatever industry you're talking about, to make a specific page on your website. Some optional things on that page, I would also have a case study or testimonial that's from that industry. Social proof like that is really powerful, so I think you should include that. And the two things that I just talked about, the outbound marketing software, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, I think they're essential, but I know a lot of people don't like doing outbound, so I've put them in the optional column, but I'd highly recommend checking them out if you're going to do that kind of industry-focused niche type marketing. Okay, so those three campaigns, kind of similar. We're going to take a different direction here and have a look at events. So you've probably heard the phrase, people buy from people. And what that really means is that, humans are driven by emotion, not reason, even in business. The best marketing works on that emotional level. And especially for you guys, accountants and bookkeepers, you're in the relationships business. And to build relationships, you need to get in front of people. So in this campaign, let's have a look at how you can promote and host your own Xero event. But before we do that, is anyone already running their own Xero events? Does anyone run a Xero event? Are they doing it regularly? Be interested to know that. Now, I know events probably sound scary. I've done events and I've been really nervous before them, but it's something that, I think with a bit of practice, they can get really, really easy to do. And I'm going to give you an example here that hopefully inspires you to say, well, actually, I could do that myself. So Finlay & Co. firm that you can see on screen, they're called Finlay Sidekick now. This was a firm in my small little mountain town, Wanaka in New Zealand. And they were one of the first 100% Xero firms in New Zealand and probably therefore the world. Big success story. Last year, they sold out to another big Xero firm in New Zealand, Sidekick, and that's the site you see on screen. Now, they grew that firm, like I say, did really well, won several Xero awards, including an award for marketing. But Wayne and Scott, who are the brothers who own the firm, definitely would not say that they were marketers. But how did they do so well in terms of growing their firm? Well, actually, it was running Xero events. So I've talked to them about that, and there was nothing fancy about these events, right? They did them in their office, in their boardroom. They started off doing them with clients, then began to invite prospects along. So, they'd only maybe have 12 people in the room, nothing big. They eventually started to do things like niche it down and focus on trades businesses. So there was a bit of a building boom operating in one of the cities that they were in. So they focused on trades. And what they did was followed up all of those events, and they were getting a really high conversion rate, like over half of the people attending became clients. Now, I was speaking at XeroCon in San Diego and actually had Wayne as my guest on my speech, and I was talking about a toolkit that Xero offer, and I'm going to share with you in a second about how to do a Xero event. There's this like a slide deck and all the emails. Now, he said like that's actually the same toolkit that they were using to run their events. So you can do this, right? You can take that and you can run pretty much that same event. So like I say, you can get hold of this slide deck. Now, this used to just be able to be on the website here. You could just download it. It's behind like a bit of a form. Now, what I'd say is talk to your account manager about this. They'll be able to help out, and it definitely will help you, you know, do a Xero event. This toolkit's got things like the slide deck. It's got the emails to send before the event, after the event to follow up. It's really cool. Gives you all the stuff that you need. So my recommendation would be to try it with clients first. Try the event with clients first because, first of all, clients are friendly, right? We know clients, and it's going to be intimidating, your first event that you do. I'm not going to pretend it's not, but it gets a lot easier with practice. It honestly gets a lot easier with practice, and it gets easier quite fast. And doing it with clients, like, you should get a good turnout. Hopefully, you can guarantee that quite a few of them will come. And then you can ask them for feedback so you can improve the event for the next time that you run it. So, why would you be running it for clients? Well, obviously, it helps with retention, but you could also be upselling them things, creating some different products or services. So that would be a really good reason to do it. But if we want to use this for prospects to grow the firm, why not run the event? You could invite some clients along, but ask them to bring a friend, obviously a friend with a business, or start promoting it to a wider audience of prospects. So by doing things like the email campaigns we talked about, the outbound, the social, doing all of those things about your event. I was speaking at an accounting conference recently, and I was asked, what's the future of marketing for accountants? And like my answer was, the future is stuff like events that's been going on forever, right? That's the future of it, because events are going to work in 2019. They're going to work in 2029. They're going to work in 2049. Doesn't matter how much tech changes. Times change, people don't. So I think events should be quite high on your list of marketing tactics to try. And the fact that you can get all that assistance from Xero and doing an event makes it a bit of a no-brainer for me. So the checklist for this one, you're going to need a slide deck. I mean, I probably should have just put like event resources in there. You can get that stuff from Xero. We've shared that in the chat there. We'll share it afterwards with you. You can get all of that stuff that, makes it a lot easier for you to put together. You don't have to do all that thinking. You're obviously going to need a venue, and that could be your office, could be, hire a venue there. And you're also going to need some event emails, so pre and post the event, inviting people, reminding them that the event's on so you get a good turnout, and most importantly, following them up, because that's where you make the dollars, right? Is in the follow-up. Now, I mean, you can do all of that stuff. Of course, you can promote it elsewhere. So, for example, social media, that would be an awesome place to promote an event. Lots of other things you can do there. And an event in itself gives you a lot of marketing collateral. It gives you all of that stuff before the event. You can then send emails out, photos of the event. There's all this stuff that kind of comes out of doing an event. Now, optionally, I've put event registration system. You could do invites by email RSVP. I think that's a bit old school. It's kind of, it doesn't look that good. So I would have a registration system, which could be like a form on your website. So some Bizink clients do this with our online forms tool, or a third-party service like Eventbrite, which some of you might have used, or gone to an event where you've registered through Eventbrite. So we'll share a link to that now. So this is the final campaign, and it's going to be about onboarding. So some of you might be thinking, well, onboarding, is that marketing? I would say it's 100% marketing, because great onboarding means great relationships. Think about how much like Xero and other cloud apps invest in onboarding and education, like for you and business owners. And that's because they know that you're only going to keep paying and subscribing to their software if you're using it. And a big part of whether you're going to use it is how you get started. Do that wrong and it's just not going to work. So this is the same for you, right? The success of your firm is based on long and profitable relationships with clients. And the way to create those is, well, one of the key ways to do that is to start that relationship in the right way. It's really hard to get a relationship back on track, as you know, when it started badly. So, how are you onboarding clients now? Is that setting the tone that you'd like to create those long and profitable relationships? So in this final campaign, I'd like to show you a really great Xero onboarding experience that you can copy in your own firm. So step one is you're going to need an online form, an online onboarding form. So this is a screenshot for one of Bizink's clients in Australia. Online, because people hate filling out paper forms. I'm sure you hate dealing with them as well. And you don't have to do that. You can do this stuff online. Forms like this give like a really slick experience, a first experience for you and your clients, and save time. And for example, with our onboarding forms like this, you can even do things like have clients do digital signing or upload documents like proof of ID. So that's first, but you've got to get them into your system. You need an onboarding form, but what happens then? And so what we'd suggest, this is the Xero part, right, is to do a free email course on using Xero. To teach your clients the basics of Xero, but do it automated, do it by email. And this can be triggered to start when the client completes the onboarding form. Or you could have a sign-up form like this. This is one of our clients. Sign-up form on the website where you could send them to this. Basically, what we're trying to do is someone fills in a form. Once they've signed up, it kicks off an automation, and that will start sending this email course. So that the automated emails will be sent from, like the MailChimp, Campaign Monitor. The one I'm going to be showing you is from Bizink Email Marketing. Basically, any of these good email marketing tools will have email automation in them. And they will also all allow you to have a sign-up form that you can put on your website. So you need something, obviously, to get people into the automation. So what we've got on screen here is the course itself. And this is where the main work is in this campaign, is creating this course. You've got to obviously write the emails and then schedule them to send out. What we're saying here is send them once a day for a week. And so this on-screen example is a Xero course that we offer to Bizink clients, where only the basics of Xero are covered. So you only want to talk, you only want to educate people in the stuff you want them to know, not the stuff that you're going to do for them. So teach them stuff about like attaching files, connecting bank accounts. It's obviously pretty much a one-off thing, but things like managing expenses that they're going to do day to day, week to week. You don't need to teach them about bank rec or stuff that you're probably going to be doing for them, and they're probably not that interested in either, or coding, that kind of thing. You just want to teach them the stuff that they're going to be using. And a course like this, it's really going to impress the client, even if they don't do every single bit of it. What a good experience this is, that you're actually giving them the slick experience, educating them right from the start. It's setting a really good tone for the rest of your engagement. And that's a marketing thing, but as an added benefit, it's going to save you time later, maybe in training and showing them what to do. So this is what the course looks like for the client. An email is dropping in. This is day one of this course about understanding the Xero dashboard. So, we included these videos because a lot of people prefer videos for training. And again, this is where you could use a tool like Loom that I mentioned earlier to create your own videos, add your personal touch in here. And why is email a really good medium for delivering this course? Well, first of all, every client has an email address. I mean, if they're logging into Xero, they've got an email address. And most business owners check their email several times a day. Second reason is that open rates for accounting firms' emails are really high. We send out tens of thousands of emails across our platform every month, and average open rate is around 40%. Now compare that to MailChimp's best performing category, which is hobbies. That's 27%, so 13% higher. So I'm not trying to take credit that that's our emails that are doing that. People open emails from their accountant, and you actually probably get a higher open rate than 40% for emails like this. So although email works great, we just explained that, some clients are going to want to skip ahead. So what we'd also recommend is if you create this course, create a hidden page on your website where the entire course lives. So if someone enjoys day one, but they want to skip ahead and do the whole thing at once, you give them that option. They don't have to wait. And plus, it means you can share that link so that people can do refresher training. You can share that with clients so they can go back and, instead of you having to do that for them every single time and re-educate them. So the end result, awesome first experience for new clients. Happy clients means they're more likely to engage you for other services. It means they're more likely to stay with you for longer. So onboarding is definitely marketing. And like I said before, the added benefit is training. It's training them so that, they know this stuff. They don't keep having to come back to you. Saves you time rather. So what's not to like about it? Checklist for this campaign. Okay, so essential, you need online form software. So like I said, online forms are built into our platform, and you might have them on your website. If you don't, you can use a standalone tool like Google Forms or Typeform. The links are in the chat there. You're going to need email marketing software. We've shared those links a few times. All of those tools that we've mentioned do email automation. The key, though, is that you need the link between the form that gets people into your system and the email marketing software that sends the emails out. So you need that capacity. So some of them will have that built in natively. If not, you can usually do that with a tool called Zapier. We'll share the link for that as well. So that kind of connects cloud apps up so you can have like a trigger and an action. So between a combination of those things, you'll be able to get that working. And you've obviously got to have an email course. So what I'm talking about here is just a very simple course covering the real basic stuff in Xero that a client would use day to day. Expenses, invoices, that kind of thing. But if you're doing their bookkeeping, don't teach them about bank reconciliation or coding. At best, they don't care. At worst, they're just going to stuff up their Xero. I know I would do that if I tried to do it myself. And I'm sure you've seen that yourself. So, just share with them the stuff that you want them to do, because that's probably all they're interested in. So look, that's the final campaign. If that sounds like a lot of effort, I think it's worth it. It's a really valuable thing that once it's set up, you've got that going forever. But if it sounds like too much effort, look, talk to us. We've got that kind of stuff pre-packaged up into our website packages or our new product Client Hub, which can work alongside any website. So let's sum up. We've looked at 5 Xero campaigns today. Who feels they could confidently do at least one of those campaigns? Just type yes or no into the chat box. What we're going to do in the next couple of days is share a document with you about all of the things you need to run these campaigns. Everyone's typing yes. No no's yet. That's just good. So hopefully you can take one of those and do it straight away. If you can, my job's been done. But I know you've not got much time to do marketing. We know that's a big pain point for you. So we want to make it easy as possible. We're going to share those resources with you. Just to sum up, I'm going to stick around for questions after the session. So if you've got any questions, fire them into the chat window. Just to sum things up, Xero plus what? Xero in itself isn't going to get you lots of clients. Xero plus some benefits for business owners. Think about what's in it for them. That's what really works. Steal your marketing ideas. Basically, there's no new ideas in the world, particularly in marketing. And the best ideas are ones that are proven to work. So steal them from Bizink, steal them from Xero. That's what we highly recommend you do. Good this week, better than perfect next week, which, next week is never right. If we procrastinate with marketing, it never gets done. So, that first campaign I showed you, is that the best marketing campaign in the world? No. Is it a good marketing campaign? Would it work? Yep, it would work. Is it better than if you're doing nothing? It's 100% better, right? So just get something done. That's what I really want you to take from this, is it's not that hard to get out there and get marketing done. People buy from people. It's a marketing truism, it's a cliche, but it's a cliche because it's true. And so getting in front of people is really important. And stuff like events, just could go on about that all day. It's so important. And hopefully that event campaign that we shared can show you that's not too hard to get something like that going. And finally, just recapping on what we just talked about, the onboarding is that key to long-term profit. It seems like just the start of the journey, but it's so important to set out the kind of tone of the engagement by giving that great onboarding experience. So copy that campaign that we've done there, and I think that'll really help you create happy and sticky clients. So please fire your questions into the chat panel. Anthony's going to come back on and ask me some questions that you've sent in. If you need any help with marketing your Xero firm, we can help you with a bunch of different stuff, things like websites, email marketing, landing pages, SEO, onboarding, all those things you can see on screen. Anthony will share a link to our Marketing for Xero Partners landing page. Do that, book a meeting with us. We'd love to chat to you. But I'm going to stick around now to answer your questions. If you've got to go now, thanks very much for coming along. It's been great to talk to you about this stuff. Thanks for interacting today. But yeah, please let me know any questions you have about anything that I've talked about today, or just any questions you've got about marketing your Xero firm.
Thanks, Matt. I can see we've got a few questions to start, but yeah, again, just to reiterate, chuck them in right now and we'll stick around if you have any more. First question I can see is, which campaign should I start with? Obviously, you had 5 you went over. Which one would you recommend starting with?
That's a good question. I think the thing is, be realistic about what you're going to get done and what you can get done consistently. So doing marketing like week to week, month to month is far better than doing something really awesome one month and then just doing nothing for like several months after that. So the consistency part is really important. So how would I put it? If I was personally going to do it, I would do the nail a niche campaign, and that's where I would start, because the first 2 campaigns are they're really good, but I'm just a big fan of focus in marketing. So it's better to appeal really strongly to a smaller group than more weakly to a bigger group, in my opinion. And if you pick a certain industry or niche, then you could do several campaigns, right? Use that document that we shared at the start, the Build a Better Business with Xero. Pick some different benefits or pain points, make them industry specific, which is not actually that hard, as we showed, often just changing a few words, and you've got a bunch of campaigns there. Next, I do onboarding. I think it's so important to have a good onboarding process, super important. And then probably next I'd move on to event. I think events really powerful, but it's you know, a bit more involved, right? You know, send out an email or some social posts, pretty easy. Do it from behind your desk. But I think an event is really powerful, and yeah, just in those three things there, that's a year's marketing right there. You know, that's a whole marketing plan. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, definitely. I've got another question here from obviously one of our Australian accountants.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to do a campaign about single touch payroll?
Okay, cool, good question. So single touch payroll, for anyone who's not in Australia, is something that the government is making mandatory or has made mandatory in terms of the way payroll works. And it's a big challenge for business owners, and that's a big opportunity for accountants and bookkeepers. So that's an Australian thing, but what is there in any country that, you know, is like a regulatory challenge that, you know, you could help them with? So what I would say is that, you know, like these tactics will work on almost any topic, right? What they're about is going like, this is something that business owners need help with, and this is how it can work in Xero, and you can help them with it. So what we're trying to do here is not go copy these exact topics. It's more copy the tactics, and you can put in whatever ideas you want. So for sure, it would work with single touch payroll. That could work really well, and you could even, you know, niche that down to an industry. Mark made a point out, making tax digital here in the UK is the challenge. I was literally going to mention that. So yeah, nice one, Mark. Yeah, there's payday filing here was a thing in New Zealand. So there's always these things that the government's dreaming up to to annoy business owners like me with, and and you're the people who can help them with them. So absolutely, that can be used as a campaign topic.
Also, I can just see one more.
Cool.
Can you run two of these campaigns at once?
Yep. Yeah, is the simple answer. I mean, I think you can definitely run them at the same time. Like I said, like nail a niche, you could do that. You could do an event, you could be doing the onboarding, you could be running all those at the same time. The only thing I think is just don't overcommit. Go back to that consistency thing. It's better to just keep doing it week in, week out than go nuts and get burnt out with it. You know, I think that's really important. Is just to better to sort of undercommit yourself and get it done than overcommit yourself, and that's demotivating. So yeah, definitely run two of them at the same time, but I think focusing on one and doing it really well might be the best place to start.
Perfect. We also just got asked about the recording of this, so it is being recorded, and you will get sent an email afterwards with all the links and resources as well as the recording.
Yeah, cool. We'll show all that stuff, the slide deck and all that kind of thing.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for those questions, everyone. Thanks, Anthea. And we're just coming up to the hour, so let's wrap things up. Thanks very much for coming along today. It's been great to chat to you about this stuff. You can see the email address on screen, hello@bizinkonline.com. Any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks to everyone for coming along. Have a great rest of your day, and we will wrap things up there.